Welcome to Sideline, the baseline with MB and Klew, man.
Hey, Lou.
Pack Jam, sing our theme song, man. You know it yet?
Hey, damn, he say sing our theme song, man. He said, you know it yet?
Huh?
He said, sing the theme song. He said, do you know it yet? The theme
Man,
song.
there you go, man. I don't know if you gonna be all right on this show today, but hey, my brother Pack Jam in the building, MB in the building, and MB brought a special guest today.
Yeah, I got my boy from, hey, Jake the Snake, not from Allstate, baby, but from the U, man, one of the top scorers in U basketball history, man. He's on right now. Hey, Jake, man, hey, welcome, man. Glad you can make it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, man. I was looking forward to this and looking forward to kind of spend some time with you guys, talking some basketball.
Yeah,
A
no
lot of
doubt.
it's
We're
going on right
talking
now.
basketball. Go ahead, hit one time.
Hey.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, I feel good about my singing now. I'm always scared. But now that I just heard you sing, I'm gonna feel free
Right,
singing.
right. You can't carry a tune across the street.
Hey, look here, man. We had some wild finishes, Jay. Off rip, man. We had Toronto and Boston.
Unbelievable.
I mean, down 0-2, MB ready to bring the broom out on us. But I told him, man, I said, MB, Toronto, man, I'm still putting it on them. I'm still going with Toronto to win this series. Jake, take us away.
I'm not quite there. I mean, I'm not quite there. I mean, Toronto, I will say this about them, though. They do have, they have winning pedigree. They won a championship last year, but they're missing some really important pieces to that team that won that championship last year. However, there's a couple guys on that team that understand how to win. And to your point about last night's finish, that was a heck of a pass by Kyle. People don't understand how difficult a pass that was that Kyle Lowry made.
Right.
So, he did that over 7'6" guy.
Right. Tito Paul was right in front of him like the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, people don't give him enough credit for the pass that he made. Now, obviously, the shot was, everyone talks about the shot and how great of a shot it was, which it was. But the first part of that play was that pass, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Hall of Fame power forward Draymond Green said it was an easy pass, and he also said that Taco should have been in the game. Talk to us about the decision to have Taco playing the ball like that, and how easy was it a pass? How easy of a pass was it with Hall of Fame Draymond Green calling it an easy pass?
Well, I'm not going to question Draymond Green because he has a lot of championships under his belt. However, I'm going to have to disagree with this, but that was a hard pass.
Pack Jam, Draymond it was an easy pass.
The problem was Boston put too much emphasis on guarding the ball being taken out of bounds. Boston sold out to the inbound pass and forgot the weak side. Is what happened.
No doubt.
Because actually, what I've never seen before is Boston had the shortest man on the court playing the weak side, the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having Tatum or someone 6'9", 6'10" playing the weak side on the back side, they had the shortest man on the court. That's how that pass was able to get over there. If Tatum was over there, that ball would have never made it. Or Brown, it would have never made it.
Yeah.
Well, then Brown get caught on the switch.
Yeah, Brown's the one that fell asleep. He was the one that contested the shot. He I don't know who fell asleep or whose man started out. But Brown
was only reacting. Brown was.
Oh, he breaking up.
Hey, man, I told you, man. He causing problems, then he get kicked off. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
No, I mean, to his point, I think Brown was. I didn't see how the whole play developed towards the end, but at the very, very end, Brown was the one that contested that.
Well, you know what? Listening to them talk when you talk about Brown and Tatum, it kind of remind me of like Klew for us, like a team going for a Hail Mary. I mean, it was less than a second left, you know, and then they just threw a Hail Mary pass and was able to get it. Obviously, it was a perfect storm and all that stuff, but what they said based on their own mouth is that it was just a blown coverage. It was just communication between Tatum and Brown, and they just kicking themselves in the butt because Brown, after the interview, he's like, after the game, he did an interview. He's like, man, we gave it away. You know, he was very frustrated because you just beat yourself, man. You do everything, man. You see Kimber Walker, man. I mean, that pass, oh my God, to be in that position to like, you like, it's just a matter of half a second. You about to close this thing out.
Yeah.
And you get hit over the head with that.
Yeah.
I mean, a blown coverage, a blown misassignment. You just can't do that against a team like Toronto. They could have easily been 3 up, and you know it's by Felicia, it's over. But now you just give a championship team, like Jay said, give them life on a play like that. That now they can gain that momentum and be ready to go.
Yeah,
well, I tell you what, Jake, this a make or miss league has been coined. Maybe about 7-8 years ago now. But how about the Heat and Bucks? The Heat and Bucks was out there, and this is another thing that I've been rooting for since the beginning of the playoffs. I'm going with the Heat. I went with the Heat to sweep the first series. They took care of business. I didn't think they would sweep the Bucks. It's kind of starting to look that way, but I still think Heat win in 6. What say you, Jay?
I don't know about a sweep in that series, Milwaukee, Miami, but it is definitely evident that there's a lot of coaching going on the Miami sideline and not a whole lot going on the Milwaukee sideline. And the person at the end of the day, regardless of what comes of this thing, the person that's just going to get criticized anything short of a win will be Giannis. I mean, if the Milwaukee Bucks can't pull it off, he's going to be the guy that's going to get criticized. He's getting criticized now. I mean, they're making comparisons to him and Pippen, as Pippen was, Jordan's Batman. So what they're implying is that he's not that guy. That he's really not the guy.
Adebayo is making a difference in that series.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Adebayo, offense and defensively, he's an ox. He cannot be moved in the inside.
Absolutely.
He's giving Lopez brothers problems, and he's giving Giannis problems offensively because Giannis can't establish himself in the post.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, listen, my opinion, man, they can bring out the broom, bro. I mean, the Heat did everything they can in the closing minutes to give that game away. Especially my boy Jimmy Butler. I mean, he was like, I mean, that pass that he trapped him, made a bad pass underneath the basket and closing minutes. End up missing one of the free throws. I mean, he went from being potentially, obviously, game 1 hero to a game 2 GOAT. But what's his name saved it? I mean, because Milwaukee, I mean, they gave it away. Giannis ended up fouling him at the time run out, and he was able to get the points at the end. But you look at, the Heat is just, to me, a much better team. I mean, they played 10 deep, right? And you had 7 guys go double figures. 7, right? And what I like about it, is that all those dudes, man, they're fearless. All those dudes believe they can make it faster. You had Crowder stepping up. You had Hero stepping up. I mean, those guys unconsciously, they'll pull the trigger and shoot the ball. It's not like they're waiting on a Butler, right, to care of them. They're like, no, I'll do it. And, man, they just playing together as a team. And defensively, man, I mean, the way they was passing dudes off and defense, I mean, they look like to a whole new level. So, man, Milwaukee missed their opportunity. I think the Heat's about to close this thing out, man.
It's looking that way.
That's exciting, man. I tell you what, Double A in the building as usual. He say Pac Jam look like Jamie Foxx.
He said what he said.
Yeah. So, I put on there. Yeah, he's on tonight. That's him.
Hey, speaking of Jamie Foxx now, I'm gonna tell you who look like Django was that Jimmy Butler. Why is he doing
wow.
and a haircut? Wow. He look like Django, man. He looked like Django last night. And he was playing like Django, man. He looked rough, man. Look like I'm like, man, get the man a haircut. He looking rough, man.
Oh, my bad. He say Jimmy Butler looked like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I agree. He was looking like Django. Not just Not just Jamie Foxx, but no, Django. He looked like he was auditioning for that Django role. Man. He was looking terrible, man. I was like, and he played that way, man. He needed to.
I tell you guys what, we had an opportunity to see another tight game, Oklahoma City and Houston, and I picked OKC to pull it out. We had a shot to win it at the end and fell short.
Take that L.
Yeah, James Harden.
Hey, Lou, I take the records. Also, I'm undefeated because I went with Denver too to win. Because Mike Conley had a baby. I say, no, I'm going with Denver. So I'm undefeated, baby. I'm undefeated.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. Oh, lost train of thought. So
he's on the OKC series,
right? But James Harden won the game, and it wasn't with a 3-point shot or a layup. It was a defensive play. As a coach, man, how excited are you about your star player making a play like that at the end, especially on defense end?
Well, I'm happy for James Harden that he actually could, save his reputation a little bit because, I'm still not convinced you're going to win a championship with him being your star for the simple fact he doesn't defend. I mean, it's just hard to win at the level they're trying to win at with your best player being a really weak defender. Now, with that being said, he made a great play. However, he could have been looking bad. My man just pump fakes. He had a lot of time. Pump fake, take one dribble. He kind of rushed the shot.
Hey, and no difference. I felt the same way. I was like, man, you think about James Harden, you used to him in the closing seconds that you think offensively, right, that he's going to make a play. He's not known for his defense, right? But I think it was a perfect storm just based on with the hand he blocked the shot with, left-handed. But Jay, we all sleeping on Harden. I mean, Westbrook, who's like one of his biggest cheerleaders, right? That's like, man, I told you, and perception is reality. Now check this out. And I was looking at this, and I was astonished about James. Guess who leads the league in steals?
James Harden.
James Harden, right? And then also he ranked 6th, they said, in the league in deflection with 220, right? And then as far as he's one of the top elite defenders in recent years, right?
Let Coach break in on this because he's about to explain to you what steals and deflections actually.
Mike, James Harden plays. Remember back in the day when you played in the playgrounds in the parks?
Yeah,
you never really guarded your man.
Yeah,
that's how James Harden.
There
plays.
You go.
So he playing like a free safety. He just roams.
Right.
He just roams now.
Right.
The stat that's not on there is he's 6th in the league in steals. He's this in the league in deflections, but he's probably at the top of the list and getting beat too.
Right.
It takes a lot of gambles.
Hey, hold on. But Jay, I understand. Hold on, man. What about they said he's 0.68% down defending a post-up possession?
Yeah,
I mean, this is the coach, man.
Hey, those some real deceiving stats there now.
Listen, you can make them numbers paint any picture you want, Mozart.
hey, so it's just those stats a lie to you, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't think the stats are lying. It's just if you really watch James Harden and watch his intensity and how he plays defense, he's a gambler. Like I'm not surprised that he's at the top of the league in steals because all he's going for is steals. But the stat that gets overlooked is like what we talked about. He gets beat a lot because he's always gambling.
Yeah,
he's always gambling.
Now, Coach, jump in there again and talk to us about Houston versus the Lakers. My number one question: who is James Harden gonna guard?
That's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. I just think it's gonna be a conflict of styles. The Rockets being a really, really small team, and they're going to shoot a lot of threes. The Lakers being a much bigger team at every position, and they could be a little more physical and pound you. So it's just going to be a conflict. It's going to be a clash of styles. And I personally think the Heat style is going to win out. I'm not a big fan of small ball, especially in the NBA. When you're talking about these bigger physical teams, you got to go up in these series. Now, you can win a game with it. You can beat people with it, but to go in and beat somebody 4 out of 7 times is hard when you're giving up size and physicality at every position.
Well, you know what? Hey, Jake, let me ask you this question because I agree with the analysis and sense. I think the Lakers are gonna win. But however, when we ask
No, you don't. No, you don't.
who's gonna guard LeBron and AD, well, who's gonna guard right?
There you
Harden
go.
and Westbrook. Can
Nobody.
Kuzma, like he's been stepping up defensively, but who can guard Harden and Westbrook?
Hey, you know what we say to Westbrook? Self-check.
I was just about to say that same thing. I was just about to say that. Self-check. I was just about to say that.
I packed Jam. Tell him down here what self-check means.
What self-check mean?
Self-check means just what it says. You checking yourself. We ain't got to worry about you.
Hey,
you defending yourself.
Hey, Pac Jam. Well, early in the season when they traded away and committed a small ball, one of the first teams they played was the Lakers, right? And they beat them with small ball.
Never put nothing. Listen,
it gotta be. So I told you, brother. I said,
the NBA is not. You should know. You should know for one that the NBA is not like the NFL. Don't put a lot of stock in the regular season.
Yeah. I agree.
Don't do that.
But I'm just saying, your brother said he gave Portland what 2 games, and I'm with the Rockets with Westbrook and Harden, I'll give them 2 games.
Hey,
not at all.
Jake?
Playoff Rondo back tonight.
Jake, what you think? Jake, what's your prediction? Obviously, Lakers gonna win, but can the Rockets squeeze out 1 or 2 games? What's your prediction?
There's no doubt they can squeeze out a game or 2, but I don't think they have a shot to win the series. It's to your point, Mike. You said they beat them early in the season. The team is built. You can win games. I mean, because they're gonna make a lot of threes, but to beat a team like the Lakers in a 7-game series is where the issue is gonna come in. Because physicality and size will show up.
And you're not going to get those second and third chance shots against the Lakers like you got in the previous series against OKC. You're not going to get the ball 2 or 3 times. It's not going to happen.
Right.
The Lakers are one of the top rebounding teams left at the bubble.
Hey, we gonna run past Westbrook every time he shoot a 3-point shot and scream, "He with us."
Hey, we got.
Hey, all right, hey, enough of this Laker talk. Hey, Jake, man, before we let you go, hey, what's your thoughts on you see the Brooklyn Nets? All right, they hired future Hall of Fame guard, Steve Nash, right?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that, man? Do you think he's gonna have success? I mean, and what's your opinion as far as him leapfrogging other potential, especially other black coaches who probably more qualified? I mean, what's your overall thoughts on that move? Do you like it? Don't like it? What's your opinion on that?
It's a 2-part question, Mike. I'm gonna tackle the first part of that being the part of him leapfrogging a bunch of qualified minority candidates. I don't like that. I mean, I thought that was I didn't quite understand that. However, to understand his hire, you have to understand his relationship with Kevin Durant. And him and Kevin Durant and Nash had developed an unbelievable relationship over the last 3 years when he was in Golden State.
Yeah.
And obviously Kevin Durant is the one that got that done. Now, if it doesn't work, you need to blame Kevin Durant because this is really his hire. I mean, seriously, it's his hire. And to your point about leapfrogging, qualified minority candidates, it was a little weird to me from that standpoint. It really was. I didn't quite understand it. I mean, there was a lot of qualified guys out there, minority guys out there that were really, really qualified and didn't get that great shot to see what they can do, with a championship type team.
Right.
But once again, Kevin Durant had a lot to do with that. His relationship with Steve Nash.
Right. No doubt. I agree.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. We're going to be checking in with you.
Absolutely.
Probably weekly for your expert analysis. Don't forget about us and don't be ignoring our texts and calls.
No, Mike. Hey, I hit Mike back all the time.
He did right away. I mean, I just asked him today. He's like, I'm on. Tell me what time. Yep. So, Jake, man, I appreciate it, baby. Hey, you taking all day, baby. You good insurance, baby. You came in right on time. Thank you, man.
All right, buddy. All
right, take care, bro.
Well, what an awesome guy. We sure appreciate Jake for stopping through, man. We had Leland down there at the bottom. I'm hoping that he get back on, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and get him a shout out, man. This guy been in scouting and upper management since the 90s, early 1990. And he's been everything from special assistants to GMs to player personnel guy, player personnel director, player development. Been all over the league, Cincinnati, Oakland, Pittsburgh, you name it. He done did it. He know it. He done, and even if you talk about baseball leadership and this money ball, I don't know. See, he came in the 90s, I guess, but was playing before then. So I love to see his opinion on this money ball expert analysis, all these Princeton, Yale, and guys that done infiltrated the situation. Can he hit, or do we figure out a mathematical equation to make him hit? So, hey, Leland, what's going on, man? We appreciate you for stopping through Sideline to Baseline.
Thanks for having me, man. Sideline to Baseline. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to communicate with all of you out there, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I feel blessed today just to be in your presence.
Thanks, Leland.
What's
Thanks,
up?
Coach. Thanks, man. Hey, Leland, so tell us a little bit. You know, Klew already just did the roll call about yourself, but I mean, you was a scout for a lot of years, man. Tell us what you look for in a player. What's some more of the important qualities if you had to generalize some stuff, man? What's the key? What are some things you look for?
Basically, you look at the tools. You're a linebacker. You know the tools, the hips, the feet, so on and so forth. But you look at hitting. Can he field? Can he run? Can he throw? Can he hit for power? Those are the 5 tools. So the 5 tools give you an opportunity to be seen. So you walk out onto the field, everybody's a prospect until they prove you wrong. So you're looking, you have a positive attitude. You're looking for what works. Does he profile at catcher? Does he profile at third? Does he profile at short? Same things you guys do in football is the same thing we do in baseball. But it's that tool that nobody talks about. Michael Barrow calls it the grit. I call it the it. You know, everybody's got something that they call it. But where I've lost money, millions of dollars on players, was they didn't play for the will to win. They didn't have the desire to win the game with the game on the line. They didn't want the rock in the 9th inning, 2 outs, runner at third base, your tie ball game. They didn't want it. And so those guys lost me money. But as I evolved and self-actualized in the game of baseball, I realized one thing growing up in the hood: don't let this smooth taste fool you, Mr. Barrow. Don't let it fool you. I'm from Southeast San Diego, went to Lincoln High School, Marcus Allen, Terrell Davis, Leland Maddox, passed for 2,000 for 1,500. Don't get it twisted. Play with your boy, Ron Rivera. It's real. So the it factor, the grit factor, whatever you want to call it, is real in baseball. Who wants the bat in their hand? Who wants the baseball in their hand when the game's on the line? So that's where you make money at, is if you can read that. That's the hardest thing to read, because after you get $20 million, how you going to react?
Right. Well, hey, when you talk about a grit, name a few players you think symbolize that grittiness, man. That got that dog mentality, man, that you'll go to war with.
Barry Bonds, number 1.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., number 2.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols, number 3.
What about now in this day and age, guys that's playing right now? Who's got that grit right now that you like, man? Okay, he can play with those guys back in the day.
Cole with the Yankees.
Okay, Cole.
You're gonna win with Cole.
Yeah,
he wants to rock. Kershaw, I don't know in the big game.
Yeah,
but Cole, you're gonna win with Cole. Bet money on Cole every time.
Yeah. And talk to us about how, you know, basketball has changed dramatically. Football, obviously, with the concussion stuff, has changed dramatically. Talk to us about baseball. Has there been dramatic changes or little subtle ones that we, you know, don't really know if we're not you and have those baseball lives?
Well, the bottom line is, if you can play both halves of an inning and you have power arms in a short series, guys that throw 95 plus with an out pitch, those guys usually win in a short series. What I mean by that is Kershaw hasn't won much in the playoffs. Why? Because that fastball is just average. The breaking ball is a plus. But Cole is going to pump it up there 96, 98, and you don't have much time to react. So the guys with power arms in the short series have a higher probability of winning the game. So what has changed? It used to be Vince Coleman. It used to be Pettis and the boys stealing bases. They don't value stolen bases these days. But I thought a run was a run. So if I could get a guy on that can still second and still third, like Ricky Henderson, all-time stolen base leader, he impacts the game more to me. So now small ball, you guys mentioned it earlier in football and basketball, small ball. Small ball is the easiest way, running on third base with 1 out or less. Bunny man, suicide squeeze. And that's why Madden has success with the Chicago Cubs, because he put his game into a modern era mixed with the old era. So you always want to evolve, but realize what's the bottom line. The bottom line is 1 run at a time, more runs than the other team scores, and you win.
Hey, Coach, speaking of winning right now, Major League Baseball just finished up with their trade deadline on Monday. All right, who you think won the trade, made the most improvement? And then in addition to that, who you think lost, finish out on the short end?
Honestly, to be quite frank with you, my predictions are in before the trade deadline.
Okay.
I got the Yankees and the Dodgers this year. Okay. And the reason why is because Aaron Boone is special. People don't understand that he can relate to all types of people, all types of players. He has the innate ability to dig down deep and help guys play relax. You mentioned something earlier in your show about the players on the team. Aaron Boone teaches young men how to take ownership of their team. And that's what the Yankees are going to exemplify for this year and years to come. They will be World Series champions this year. I want Dusty to win it, but my boy Aaron Boone is special.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the Dodgers as well. Do you think that San Diego, with all the trades or that they made, do you think they can catch the Dodgers? Obviously don't. And why not?
I don't think they can, and simply because Kershaw during the regular season is dominating. He has 5 wins already. You have Buehler with the Dodgers, who hasn't gotten off to a good start, but he has plus nasty stuff. And then you have the young kid Dustin May, power right-hand pitcher, up to 99. So those 3 starters right there have a chance to take you and propel you to the next level. Right.
No doubt. Now, what about losses? Which I know you say you usually pick your teams before the trade deadlines, but what overall, I guess before the season started, what team really disappoints you the most?
Well, I think Houston. I think Houston should have went down and grabbed a guy from Cleveland, a power right-hand pitcher, pick somebody up. Do something to propel your team to the next level. They already have all this negative image from the computers, knowing what the pitches are being thrown. However, I don't care if you know what pitch is being thrown. 100 miles per hour is 100 miles per hour. So Altuve still had to hit the ball out the ballpark. I don't care if you're on steroids. The pitchers were on steroids. The hitters are on steroids. You still have to hit the ball and pitch the ball. So there's no excuse, just produce. So I would probably say Houston.
Well, that sounds like a run. There's no excuse, just produce, baby.
If you don't, you're fired. It's business.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, speaking of change, Leland, obviously you was in the front office, man. We were doing a show early in the year, talked about how to prove black mobility from the sideline to the front office. I mean, right now, Major League Baseball, man, what do we have to do to get more blacks right in the front office, or just more blacks on the baseball field, man? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, they need to set up like these little remote, like we're doing right now, but have this in hot spots. Have this at TC, Team Carolina Baseball Association, where you just bring in minority kids sponsored by Major League Baseball, and they get special instruction, not 24 hours, but 5 days a week. They have to put in that 10,000 hours with a quality instructor. Most of the kids that are in the hood, they don't have quality instructors. They just pick up and go play, and they let their athleticism take them, propel them to the higher level. However, the game of baseball is expensive. I mean, the bats are $550. The gloves are $400. The cleats are $105 or $95. You want to get some cheap ones, $55. So it's a lot of economics that come into play for baseball. But Major League Baseball is willing to help these kids. They just don't have a formula yet. The formula is here. It's right here. You have to do it remotely, and it starts with training. It starts with you young athletes that have played in the NFL. You guys are special because you started training at a young age. You develop quick twitch muscles. You develop great hips. So with baseball, it's more of a skill to where you have to swing the bat, and the bat has to stay in the zone for a long period of time in order for you to hit all pitches.
Right. And I'm gonna say this too, Leland. The sport of baseball is no longer in the inner cities, but the baseball fields are still there and they're beautiful.
Yes.
But you got guys, the football teams practice on the beautiful baseball fields, and there's no baseball teams. my dad grew up with baseball, playing baseball. By the time I'm coming up right behind him, it didn't exist. You had to go outside into the suburbs to find a team.
That's true. And I'm part of the solution, yet part of the problem. There's a lot of money in bad baseball. So if you're going to pay me $5,000 to train your kid, I'm going to do it. But I guarantee my results, and we've had a lot of success with kids going on to play collegiate baseball. And you're talking about some sorry kids that their parents could afford it. I mean, sorry kids, their parents could afford it. But I gave them the right formula to success. You give them the roadmap and they follow it. They put in their work. They have a high probability of playing collegiate baseball, junior college, Division III, 2, or 1. And some of them are going on to the minor leagues, and some have gone to the big leagues. So if you give me talent, if you give me you guys at the age of 10, if you give me, well, Marcus Allen was a great player. If you give me a great baseball player too, but if you give me guys with quick twitch fibers, above average strength, Barry Bonds, who's the best hitter I've ever seen in my life, don't get fooled by the steroids. Don't let them twist your thought process. Steroids was not illegal at the time. He did nothing wrong. He faced pitchers that Randy Johnson, I won't say any names, but they were throwing 100. When I faced them, they were only throwing 92. Okay, so it was equal playing field. But then all of a sudden the commissioner was getting, pressured from the government, and the rest is history. So Barry Bonds, don't get it twisted. He's special. He's a Hall of Famer. Mark McGwire is special. He's a Hall of Famer. Sammy Sosa is special. He's a Hall of Famer. They did nothing.
Sammy Sosa, light skinned Sammy Sosa,
the real Sammy Sosa. But Sammy Sosa was confused before. Time I see him. And Sammy was confused, Coach. He was confused. He's like Leland, you light like me. You white, Leland. I said, Sammy, I ain't white. I said, don't get it twisted. I said, I'm light bright, but don't mean nothing. My mama's blue black, my father's brown. I just came out this way. So what is it? Light bright, dark blue, black blue? It don't matter. The bottom line is you are who you are.
Sammy was trying to figure out what kind of lotion you was using.
He got that Michael Jackson lotion.
And one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet too, man. He'll give you
Leland, back. He found it. He found what guy you was using.
Hey man, Michael Jackson.
Hey, Leland, you know what?
Yes,
dig into a little bit more, man, just because obviously, I mean, I know you because you coach my son in baseball, but tell a little bit more about your program, man, guys that want to get involved, because the training is so essential. Like you say, you take guys, have taken kids, and you straight up with them like, man, you got no talent, but you do wonders, man. You work wonders, man. Work wonders like Sammy Sosa cream. Hey, I know you're not doing some Balco, but you're doing some Balco technique, baby, getting those boys ready. Talk to them about your program, a little bit about Team Carolina in those areas, just in case somebody wants to figure out how they can get connected with you.
Well, actually, I run people away, Mike. And the reason why is because the more people that come, the more parents, the more headaches. And so this is why I was telling you, I don't want to talk about my organization, because you remember Young Lau? Remember when you first saw Young Lau?
Yeah.
His father's 6'5", 6'6", and the kid had long, rangy arms. The kid can run now. He made a game-saving catch his last tournament. Now, if you saw Young Lau 2 years ago, he couldn't catch the sky if it just went on him. I mean, he couldn't catch. He wouldn't land in the ocean if you threw him in. This kid was pathetic, horrible. But he had these long levers that you would think long-term he might be a pitcher. But now all of a sudden he's running. The ball is jumping off his bat, and he's making game-saving catches. He's got a long ways to go. But if you look at the athleticism where he's at, where he was, and where he's trying to go, that roadmap is starting to come into play. So when you take kids with no talent, but they have some athletic genes in their body, they have a chance to maximize their utility if they're given proper instruction. So back to the question previous to this is, how do we get young brothers to play baseball? It has to be a passion. It has to be parents that are committed to investing time and money in them. But Major League Baseball can do it by setting up remote sites. Team Carolina, you come in and train at Team Carolina. You come in and train in Columbia. You come and train in New York with certain people. Because obviously the minor league system is not conducive for young brothers. Because you have.
We got to get them down here, Leland, to Florida, man. All of them don't make it in football, man. But they got the same kind of ability as the ones that are making it.
Better ability in Florida. Yeah. I mean, there's so many more, such a bigger population in Florida. But then you have a guy like Greg Zunino who went to University of Florida. with barely little talent, but just hard work. And he's a top 10 pick of the country. But his father knew what to do. Greg Zunino knew what to do to get him there. He didn't have above average speed. He didn't have an above average arm. He didn't have above average strength. He just outworked everybody.
Right.
So he maximized his strength. He maximized his arm. He maximized his power. This is a skill game. Baseball, you can be slow in play. You don't have to be quick. Baseball, you can be powerful. You have to have above average strength. So these things from 5'5" to 6'6", you can play it. 6'8", Tony Clark. You can play it. There's no limitations. But if you don't have the skill, you don't have someone teaching the proper skill, and most importantly, if you hit, you'll play somewhere. However, that bat has to stay in the zone for a long time, and only a few people in the world can teach that.
Well, no doubt.
Man, I tell you what, Leland, MV been hiding you, man. And I'm actually excited about man. Let me tell you something, Leland. MV be saying, man, look, K-Lou, we got to talk about baseball. Like, oh. This is MV. Are you believing me doing all this talking during baseball? That's what I want to know right now.
I love it.
This brother right here, man, making me talk about baseball. You got to come back, man.
Well, here's the deal. I played football and baseball at Cal. So I'm an athlete.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
Hey, Leland, before we let you go, man, just talk about the Major League Baseball. You mentioned the term long term, man. Do you think they can make it through the season with the coronavirus and whatnot? What's your opinion about what's going on? If there's any adjustment they need to make, and overall, and how is it affecting the game?
Well, first of all, the commissioner is doing a great job by getting them out there. Secondly, they need to bring fans to the ballpark. This virus, no one knows about it, but we've played tournaments after tournaments after tournaments, and we've used the mask. We've social distance, and we haven't had anyone get sick. The only time kids get sick is when they go to Florida or they go to Charleston. They go party, they go do their thing. But right now, if you're not in an overpopulated place, thus far, I haven't been around many people that are getting sick unless their parents.
But Leland, what about the cases where games has been canceled because of the coronavirus? You mentioned Florida, right? The Miami Marlins. I think the Cincinnati Reds. I think it's been a handful of teams that had to cancel the game or postpone the game because of the virus.
But why do you think that is? They went out and did their little party thing, man. They went out. They didn't social distance. They didn't care about the next day. Some people just can't be confined. And that's the bottom line. You just can't confine them. You know, that wild dog wants to get out that cage, man. He wants to go get it. And so when you're in the prime of your career, how are you going to tell a man with millions in the bank that you can't go out of these confines? The NBA is doing a great job. And I'm telling you right now, I believe Major League Baseball is doing the best that they can do. You just have a couple of bad apples in every bunch. So that's just the way it is. It's called reality in life.
So you think for the playoff, once they hit the playoffs, you think can they do a bubble type atmosphere where they can lock people down so you won't have any postponement, or what's your thoughts about that moving forward?
I mean, you could. However, I'm telling you who's going to be in the playoffs right now. I'm telling you the Dodgers and the Yankees. Remember, I'm telling you on this day. I'm speaking the truth.
So should we just cancel the season? Just put the Dodgers
just put the Dodgers and Yankees in it right now. Ask me why, Mr. Barrow. Ask me
why. Talk to me.
Biggest populated areas: New York, California.
Yeah.
Baseball needs to be seen by the masses this year, especially this year because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Truth.
Oh man, hey man, well our hometown state, Tampa Bay, man, they'll be mad. The Devil Rays, they'll be a little upset about that because right now I'm with the Yankees. I'm all with the Yankees, so they'll be a little upset about that right now. If we just let the Yankees leapfrog them, you know.
Hey, listen, I'm not being politically correct on your show. Tampa needs to get a new area to play. They need a new stadium. They need a new.
Yeah, they need a lot, man. They
need a new location.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Lena, I'm sorry. One more question before I let you go, man. The Mets just lost a legendary icon, man. What's your thoughts on Tom Seaver's been passing away, man? I don't know if you know him personally or obviously you knew of him, but what's your thoughts on that? Any closing words about that? Oh,
we lost.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
If he popped back on,
we'll let him get back on. Hey, my man Leland on it, ain't it, Klew?
Yeah, he makes it exciting.
Yes.
Man, we got to run through these games real quick. NCAA is coming up. We got games on Saturday. It's
Yes.
football time, man. We're gonna start it off.
Football.
Yeah, right. Really quickly.
Hey, Leland, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead, man. We got
real quick. Tom
Yep.
Seaver, met him a couple times. A fine human being, humanitarian. He ran a wine industry. Right-hand pitcher, 311 wins, only 205 losses with a 2.86 earned run average. 20 years in the big leagues, 22 years of age. He was in the show. I mean, he dominated. His legacy is strictly a winner on all sides, on the field and off the field. So my condolences to the Seaver family and to his legacy, and he'll be remembered as one of the best, in my opinion.
Awesome, man. Hey, Leland, man, thank you so much for sacrificing your time, man, to come on the show, man. Like Klew say, man, you got a standing invitation, man, to come on all the time. Don't tease us, baby. You can come on anytime you want, baby. You can talk
Lulu and
baseball
Barrow, thank you so
want.
much. I mean, this was fun. Thank you so much. You guys are doing great things, man. Big ups.
Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, we start right off, man. Jacksonville State. We just got off with Coach Jake Morton team on the basketball side where they suiting up against FIU in football. MB, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, hey, I'm going with the hometown team, man. FIU, man. Bush Davis, man. You saw what he did with Miami when he was a head coach at the U. And then also you saw what he did to my Hurricanes when FIU played Miami last year, man. He got those boys ready to go. Hey, man, I think he's one of the excellent coach, man. I mean, the thing he does, Klew, right? He identifies talent. He knows how to develop talent, right? And he knows how to make sure, whether it's practice or game, that those guys come ready to play. And I don't see it being any difference, man, when they kick it off as well, man. He's going to have those guys ready to play on top of it.
Well, in 2017, JSU was a powerhouse. They had a 41-game win streak going on back then. Their side of fans and media are writing that they feel like they're a 10-win team this year. So I'm gonna side with them. I'm gonna bring a look. I'm gonna go against home team, and go with JSU, man, for the upset because Corona and these guys want it more. You know how it is. You play a FCS team, and they feel like, man, this is my chance to get in the league, to show general managers and the NFL teams that I belong. So I think they're gonna want it a little bit more.
I don't know. Well, hey, they're gonna take that L against FIU, man.
Okay, we going Eastern Kentucky and Marshall. Eastern Kentucky got 7 starters back on D, and the running game averaged 200 yards a game last year, man. So they gonna ground and pound. Marshall needs to clear the lane for Brandon Knox on their offensive side of the ball too, because they run the ball. So this gonna be a rock'em sock'em robot type of game, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, East Carolina, man. I mean, EKU, excuse me, man. I don't know, man. I'm going with Doc Holliday and Marshall, man. Doc, man, he's been there 11th year right now. He understands what to do. I mean, he's got like you talking about the players he got coming back, man. And then also Doc, man, knows how to understand on all 3 levels, all 3 phases game, offense, defense, and special team. They got one of the top returners coming back, man. I think, man, this Marshall hand down. I think it's not going to even be close. And Doc we trust, man. Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, it is. And he knows how to write the right prescription, all right, for Marshall to get that victory, man. So I don't even see it even being close, bro.
Well, I got some experience in this next game, Middle Tennessee State versus Army. I used to have to play Army and Navy, it seemed like every year. And it was the worst game. I wanted to quit football before every game because they was all 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing MB. And that's when it was illegal. I mean, legal. It wasn't illegal, but legal to cut from outside in.
Yeah.
And that's all they did. So you watch a running back and a wide receiver take your knees out. So I never wanted to play those games. That's very tough playing a team like that. You know how it is. You got to change everything you do for 1 week. The reason though why I think Middle Tennessee State will beat Army is because they've had this whole time with COVID to talk about that game. So I think they're gonna win because of that.
Yeah, and obviously I disagree. Meaning I understand they definitely got a more time to prepare. Usually when I was coaching at University of Miami in the ACC, we had Georgia Tech and with Paul
Same
Johnson.
offense.
Same exact offense, man. And so we had, even during the off season, all right, we took time out to prepare. You know, we made it. It was part of our training to get a jump start, and then also our athletic director Blake James, he got smart, and then he made sure when we played them that we had a bye week before we played them. Right. So you're right, Klew. You had all summer to prepare for them, but I just think Middle Tennessee, man, they, especially on the defensive side, man, they don't have a lot of returning starters coming back. Right. All right, their quarterback is special. He's doing stuff, but defensively, man, I mean, they don't have a chance, man. It's hard. They got a lot of new faces, and whenever you face a triple option like this, man, you have to have assignment football. But the problem is when you plan a lot of new positions or not new people, especially if you're forced to play freshmen, man, we say, man, every freshman you play equal one loss, right? Because of the mental side of it, man, the discipline football, man, they out there chasing squirrels. So I think with Army, especially Army, man, they haven't been doing well these past 2 or 3 seasons, but I think they're heading in the right direction. They got some new they got a new quarterback they got to break in. But, man, with this triple offense, man, it's a go, man. I don't really think it matters who's running it, man. It's assignment football, assignment offense, and they're going to get it done.
All right, SMU versus Texas State. SMU 10 wins last year. They'll be looking really good again and make a play for the AAC title. Texas State is young with plenty of young guys on offense and defense, so it reverts back to what you say. So they may be in for a long year.
Yeah, I go with SMU, man. I mean, SMU got one of the leading quarterbacks, if not the leading quarterbacks of the AAC, double AC, right? He's coming back, man. And Sonny Dykes, man, he got those boys on fire. Had their first 10-win season since, 1984, if I'm not mistaken. So I see them continue with the momentum and getting this thing turned around, man.
Houston Baptist, man, versus North Texas. How many schools are in the state of Texas? 1 million? Head coach Seth Luttrell would take over play calling again and get the Mean Green back on track because they struggled on offense. I don't think it's going to be enough, Coach. I think Houston Baptist go ahead and win this one.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you, man. That's the upset right there. I know everybody got North Texas projected to win handily, right? But I don't know. The Houston Baptist, I know they've been praying and fasting and whatnot. So they're going to work a miracle. But then also they have in the Southland Conference, they have the leading returning quarterback as far as yardage and touchdown and completion, right? And they got 2 top receivers coming back. So I think this is the upset game for me right here. I see they needed prayer and they got it, right? They got the
absolutely.
Because I was like, Houston Baptist, who is that? Do they even have a team, right? You know, did they put somebody together, you know? But no, man, obviously, because even in the conference, they're predicted to finish 7th. But man, with that offense and returning parts, man, and North Texas having a lot of major holes to fill, I think this could be the upset game, man.
Absolutely. Arkansas State, the Werewolves versus Memphis Tigers. 2 high-power offenses take the field. So guess what that means? Whoever gives up the least amount of points on the other team defense is going to win this one. Yeah. I think Memphis is going to be that team, so I'm going with Memphis.
I think so, too. Even though Memphis lost their head coach to Florida, he got hired by Florida State, I still think they got the DNA, they got the blueprint, they promoted from within, man. And I just think Memphis got just too much firepower, too much too much firepower, man, to have this thing even close. So I got Memphis to win as well.
Stephen F. Austin versus UTEP. There we go. 2 more Texas schools. How many schools do they have in Texas?
I told you, hey, football in the South is a religion, man, especially in Texas.
Oh, my goodness. UTEP has lost 11 straight games to Stephen F. Austin. I'm going to say it again. Utah has lost 11 straight games to Stephen F. Austin. UTEP has only 7 returning starters. So guess what, MB? They're in the same situation that you was talking about. But Stephen F. Austin opted to play a limited schedule this year due to a postseason ban. So they had the option to go ahead and wait till the spring to play their season. They say, no, it ain't going to count anyway. Let's get these 3 games out of here and keep it moving. Exactly. And because of that attitude, this will be the 12th time in a row.
Can I get an amen? Go on, brother. I'm with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you, man. Even though my boy go to UTEP, one of my best friends went there. Hey, I'm going with Stephen F. Austin.
Wow. Well, man, we got a special guest coming through. We're gonna work on this NFL for about 3 to 5 minutes, LB, because I know you're gonna want to talk about this NFL, and then we're gonna get to our resident tennis analyst.
Well, you know what? Hey, Klew, we can save it for Sunday, man. Let's go on.
Okay.
Because we got the cuts basically right now in the NFL, man. They got by Saturday tomorrow by 4 p.m. They got to make the cuts. They got to trim down to the final 53. So as you see, you look through the news, there's a lot of guys either getting cut or getting traded, right? Or even some guys are lucking out and getting paid, right?
Absolutely.
Indianapolis Colts, man, just made Kelly the highest paid center in the NFL, which rightfully so. Then you see AD all day. AD still trying to extend his career out. Surprise cut with the Redskins. All right, he's been a leading rusher there for the past 2 years, right? And then Jayville, Duval County, what are you doing, man? I mean, I don't know what's going on, but they have a fire sale. They got a flea market sale going on there, man. They either trading dudes or cutting dudes, and they just made another trade. Got rid of one of their safeties who they drafted and developed. Now they send them off, man. So, man, I don't know what they're trying to do. I told you last show, I think they're trying to tank, right, to position themselves to get Trevor Lawrence and to get a package deal with Dabo Swinney. So, so that's the thing that's going on at Jayville. But it's a lot of surprise cuts, a lot of surprise moves. But by tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll follow up on Sunday, Klew, and just have a show about that, bro.
Well, I sure appreciate it, and I know I'm right on your coattail with this Dabo Swinney, Trevor Lawrence talk you started up. So I'm gonna ride with you on that, and I mean, I don't know what other reason they could be doing all this foolishness. But hey, guys, we got Coach John Richards in the building, a Rattler, FAMU zone.
Hey, Coach Jay,
Virgin Islands approved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the building.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. What's going on? Hey,
look, so we jumping right in here. Head first into the world of tennis. Guess what? The U.S. Open is playing. I ain't never even told you this, Coach. I used to go to the U.S. Open a lot.
Really?
What? You did what?
When we were, yeah. I would go to New York. Yep, in New York. Yep. It is a awesome experience.
Hold on.
Hey, look,
Yeah. Was this BM before marriage or after marriage?
No, after.
After marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you trying to holler at somebody. Okay, so no, if it's after marriage, then you good. You went for pure to go watch.
MB, if you actually go watch tennis in that setting, it's completely different. I mean,
it's an awesome experience.
It's exciting. They got real restaurants, like not go over there and get a burger and a hot dog. Like it's straight wine and cheese crowd. And
it's that pinky up. It's that pinky up, man.
And when you watching a match that's not quite exciting, you notice people over there napping. So I took me a nap. And then you wake up, you like, man, this good. Let me walk to another court, because you get in and then it's a million courts and you just court to court, and then you watch the headliners because they always gonna be playing on the main court. I ain't never even talked to Coach about this before, but yeah, I kind of know. I know the vibe.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely something you should put on the bucket list if you have not been. It's a great experience, great way to experience the game in the U.S. to its fullest. Like you said, like Kevin was telling you, there's a bunch of things aside from the tennis matches that you can do It's a great experience. I recommend everybody go at least once to get to see what the U.S. Open has to offer.
Coach,
So
man, hey, hold on a second. Coach, boy, you're from the island, boy. How you play tennis on the island, man? You know, maybe soccer, football, you know. A tennis, man? Come on, man, you're backward country boy. You got to do your duty, you know.
So when I was younger, my dad was a tennis player. He picked up the game, and he actually picked it up at a later age and got very good at it very fast. And he became friends with Arthur Ashe, and they played doubles together, and they traveled together. So it's kind of a lineage that he passed
did you
down.
just hear that, LB? You just nodded like you didn't want to
I
interrupt.
saw Arthur Ashe. I'm like
You
thinking,
interrupt. That's what you
I'm
do.
thinking like if I had that experience, I'd have played tennis too.
Yeah. So he kind of passed that down to me, just like any kid at a young age. You know, you want to be as good as dad or better than dad at what you do. So, you know, we looked up to him and saw him play and how much people respected him in his game. So my brother and I, we always wanted to follow in his footsteps, playing the game. So that was kind of our first foray into the game. So we started playing the game, traveling the world. So that was kind of our experience. Went to college, went to FAM. Better believe it. My brother went to Hampton. My brother went to Hampton University, and now we run our own tennis management company, among other things. So that's kind of our foray into the game.
So we brought you on here for the U.S. Open, man. Coco gone, Venus gone, Osaka barely. What's going on, man?
So this tournament, it's a little bit unique, obviously, given the COVID-19 circumstances. There are no fans. They have created their own mini bubble. So a player like Coco Gauff, being so young, she feeds off of the energy that the fans give her. And with none of that energy there, it was just her by herself with one or two people cheering her on, and she gets her energy from the fans. So that's where her drop off came. Plus, she was playing a very experienced player, a very good player. She got a bad draw. Venus, on the other hand, was playing well coming in. That was kind of a bit of a surprise. She played well in the tournament before. Beat a great player in the first round, lost to her sister in the second. It was a very good match. But that was a little bit of a surprise. It was a little bit of a letdown. But most of the seeds are holding to form. Osaka has had some uncharacteristic emotional outbursts, but she has managed to work through them, so she's still alive. And of course, on the men's side, Novak Djokovic is the prohibitive favorite, with Nadal and Federer not being in attendance. So for the most part, the tournament itself is holding to form.
Hey, Coach, you speaking of Venus Williams, man, she's 40 years old now.
Yeah.
Do you think it's time for her to retire, or what's your thoughts on that?
So that's a very interesting question, and there are good arguments on both sides, but my answer selfishly would be no, and here's why. Venus and Serena have represented an underrepresented segment of the population in the tennis game for quite some time. And I was watching a superhero movie with my nephews the other day, and Batman said, if you stay in the superhero game long enough, you'll find yourself going from the hero to the villain. Well, for Venus and Serena, it's been the exact opposite. They have been able to see themselves go from the villains to the admired. They have lived there. They have been in the game so long that the generation that they were playing with has now expired, and they're a generation and a half extra. So now these players have so much respect and admiration for Venus and Serena. I think it's great that they are actually allowed to enjoy being revered for a while, as opposed to being sneered at and somewhat hated for simply being who they are. So I think it's good for them to be playing so long. Plus, I also feel that for the entirety of their careers, allow me to say, they have been what I would consider to be unapologetically black. Yeah. So I feel that is a representation that another segment of the population needs to see, because I feel that Serena herself has probably been the most underappreciated American champion that we've ever had. and I don't think there will ever be another one to come behind her that good for
Good.
that long. So I think as long as we can get a glimpse of her greatness and see her perform at the highest level, because she's right there, even at 38 years old, I think it's a blessing for everybody to see. So even so for Venus, she's enjoying what she's doing. She loves what she's doing. She's competing at a pretty good level still. She isn't. They were so far physically ahead of their opponents prior. So now that they've slowed down a little bit, I think it's more even the playing field. So I think even that she's not as physically imposing as she was before, she still competes at a very high level, and she loves what she does, and she enjoys it. So I think they have earned the right to play as long as they possibly want.
Well said. And
I
Coach, go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, I hear you saying, they've earned that right. I definitely think they have. I think, though, you start looking at the sports world, you look at boxers, we like, man, you should have stopped.
Right.
You look at football players, we're forced out, so you don't even get a chance to figure it out. You look at basketball guys, and it's like, man, you a shell of yourself. Stop doing that.
Right.
The tennis world seems to like emulate basketball more. So
Correct.
Because you're going to maintain your pro card, you're going to get invited because you're still making money for the corporate sponsors. So, at what point should they step away from the game and become ambassadors? Like at what point,
So Serena has a specific goal in mind. She has currently has 23 major titles to her name, 23 Grand Slams, and she's trying to match Margaret Court with 24. So that's her specific goal in mind, and she's not far off. She's in the last 2 years, she's been in 4 of the Grand Slam finals and lost, but she's been close. So I think she's not far away from achieving that goal, and most people already believe that Serena is the best tennis player ever. But in order to leave no doubt and have no argument, she wants to get that 24th title. Even though a lot of Margaret Court's title was before the Open era, where they allowed everyone to play, both professionals and amateurs.
Oh, wow.
So most people don't equate Serena's 23 titles as being the same as Margaret's 24. They're much better competitive. That's correct. Right. So everybody kind of views Serena as the best ever, but she wants to make sure that she leaves no doubt throughout her career who's been the best. So that's her specific goal. And I believe once she gets that, she'll start to wind down. She's a mom now. She's married. They both have other business interests, being part owner of the Miami Dolphins. So I think once Serena gets that title, she'll wind down. Venus, there's no telling. Many people have suggested at 40 that she kind of hanging up. But like I said, again, for her, same thing. 2.5 years ago, she was in 1 year, she was in 3 of the 4 Grand Slam finals. And that wasn't that long ago. So she's close to getting that one more title that she wants. She's not far off. She does have moments where she's not able to compete, but they do have specific goals, and I believe that once they get those goals, they'll hang it up.
Hey, well said, Coach. And Adam, I think Adam said on the last show, he said, man, he wished tennis had like golf a senior tour. Where they could just play.
You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that.
Hey, but Coach, let's talk about Serena's chances on winning that 24. You mentioned she's been there. She's been left at the altar maybe 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Right now in the U.S. Open, right? A lot of the number 1 seed in the world is not playing. I think maybe 6 out of the top 10 players in the world opted out of the tournament. Correct. And then also the number 1 seed in the U.S. Open got defeated. So what's your prediction? Can Serena now get that elusive 24? Is that your prediction, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that she's got an excellent shot with the field being slightly diluted. Most of the type of players that give Serena trouble aren't in her way. She's got a good, again, she's at her age of 38. She's got to make sure that she tries to be as efficient as she possibly can in every match. Again, remember the U.S. Open is 2 weeks long. So there's only a certain amount of energy you can expend and can replace. And so she's got to be very efficient with with the matches that she plays, and so far she's been able to do that. The next match is going to be a little difficult. She's playing another American, Sloane Stevens. Sloane has been a little out of form lately, but she's the type of player with great wheels and easy power that can give Serena fits, and she's beaten Serena before. So if Serena can get past this round, then it kind of opens it up for the possibility of her running all the way through.
Is there anybody else that would be a threat to her if she get past Stevens today or tomorrow?
Yes.
Who would be the biggest threat?
So the two players that I see that could pose the biggest threat aside from Sloane would be Sonia Kenin. She won the last Grand Slam at the Australian Open, at the youngest at 21 since Serena to do that. And she is the type of player, great wheels, absorbs power, can create her own power. That's the type of player to give Serena trouble. And of course, Naomi Osaka, who's got that easy power and can run all day. So those are the two players that I see that can give Serena fits. But again, it's Serena. So if she's serving on her game and she's on point and mentally ready, she's going to be hard to beat. So I give her a 60% shot. I give her a good shot to go all the way. Okay.
And what about on the men's side, man? Who's your prediction to take home the trophy on the men's side?
So it's hard to root against world number one Novak Djokovic. He just moves so well on the tennis court. He's mentally prepared. His two biggest rivals are not there, in Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. So if he holds his form, the good money, the easy money is to bet on him. I am keeping my eye on some of the young guns coming up. There's a couple Canadian kids, Felix Auger-Aliassime, who, if you are looking to create a tennis player, he is as perfect as it gets. Daniil Medvedev, who lost in the final last year. There's a couple other young guns, Sasha Zverev, who's got easy power. So if one of the young guns can hold their nerve, they have a good shot as well, because the two big dogs of Nadal and Federer are not there. But the world number one seems like he's got a good solid path to the title.
Well, Coach, before you leave and we close this show out, man, talk to us a little bit about your program. Tell people how to reach it that are local. And boy, I'm gonna tell y'all this: only MB and John obviously will respect this, but this Florida weather is insane. John out here is about 10 miles away. Y'all see sun behind him. It's midnight over here. So, go ahead, John.
So my brother, myself, and one other partner, we have our tennis management company called Central Florida Tennis Management Associates. We're primarily located at 2009 Lake Margaret Drive at the Fort Gatlin Tennis Center. We have 10 tennis courts. We offer everything possible. We have our business tennis group. We have grassroots programs. We have our nonprofit organization where we provide free tennis lessons to underprivileged kids in the community. Right. We marry that with some form of learning. We have, with those classes, we have our financial literacy classes, and we do homework and homework assistance and tutoring, which I found out are two different things. And we do nutrition, and we teach the kids nutrition information, how to eat healthy meals, what constitutes healthy meals. We do all of that, and we're trying to be.
Can I sign up?
One of our partners, Heavenly Nutrition, they're great at teaching the kids this information. So we're trying to be a community transforming program where we try to introduce the game of tennis to all facets of the community. We also run all of Orange County, Special Olympics Florida. Orange County is all run out of the Fort Gatlin Tennis Center. I'm the director of tennis for that. So we have all of the special needs students that play tennis at the Fort Gatlin Tennis Center. We started with
and I'm finna interrupt again because John won't pat himself on the back, MB, so I got to do it for him. He also trains the #1 special needs tennis player in the world.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. Brittany Tagliarini. She's #1 in the U.S. and wow. She trains really hard. She's one of our student athletes that special needs athletes that trains at the facility.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we try. Our programs range from high performance, a college placement program, and our pro program, to our grassroots program where we teach anybody who wants to learn the basics of the game. So we try to run the gamut and be a community transforming program. So anywhere that you have played, or if you haven't played at all, you can jump into one of the programs that we offer and one of the play options that we offer. Coach, so we try to do that.
MB, he cheated us. He took Brittany to Dubai, man, and ain't take me and you with.
Come on,
she played a tournament in Dubai, and he was there and left us out.
Wow.
Hey, man, yes, sir.
How can people find out about your program? Do you have a website or anything that they can find information about?
Sure. Our main website for the tennis management company is www.fortgatlin.com. They can go to our website there, and the bulk of the information about our nonprofit organization, the Poshrock Tennis Foundation, can be found at www.poshrocktennnis.org.
Okay, good. Hey, Coach, for those maybe somebody on the fence, and I know I've been in this situation before with my son, one of my sons trying to figure out if tennis is a fit for him. What are some most have qualities or tools or stuff that you look for to help you make that decision if tennis is a good fit for your child? Anything that you can look and say, oh yeah, you know, he or she'll be a great tennis player. Any must have or things like that?
So that's a great question. Tennis isn't a team sport, so that's one of the main things there. There are some kids, or every kid is different, but there's some students who sometimes don't play well with others. I ain't gonna mention no names. I ain't gonna mention no names.
Get them playing tennis, LB. We gotta get them playing tennis. She don't do it.
Oh, we talking about somebody specific? I know we're talking about somebody specific.
Name names, Coach. Name names.
Well, I mean, I do have a promising young girl that plays with me now, and she's very strong-willed, very strong personality. I'm sorry.
Is it Lewis? Her last name Lewis?
Listen, man. I ain't dry stitching on nobody. So
come on, Takashi. It'll be raising Takashi's around here. Everybody go along.
Yeah. Go ahead. Can't be so that's one of the factors. I mean, tennis is a sport that you can do as a family. It's a sport that you can do. You can play for a lifetime. You might not be able to play well for a lifetime because as you physically deteriorate, it gets harder and harder to play. But for example, there is a specific shelf life playing football. But for tennis, that's where you can keep exercise and where you can exercise as a family. And there's a game that you can love for life. It's a game that you can play well. My dad plays, and he's well into his 90s. No, I'm kidding. He's in his 70s, but he's acts like he's in his 90s sometimes. But he plays, and he likes to compete. You know, if you wouldn't be able to do that with a helmet on at his advanced age. So it's a game that you can enjoy. It's a game that you can stick with for a lifetime. And, I would recommend giving it a try. The skill sets that you gain playing tennis, even if it won't be a primary sport, will aid you playing basketball, will aid you playing football. The footwork will aid you playing soccer. So I think that there are some attributes that go cross sport lines. So even if they play and pick it up and they like it, but they don't like it as much as something else, right. It's something that when they're finished playing basketball or finished playing football, they can pick it right back up. So once you introduce them and introduce the love of the game, then they can always pick it back up at a later time if it's not their main sport.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming on. You're going to be our resident tennis guy.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, guys.
And talk to us about tennis. Educators put game on us. We appreciate you coming tonight. LB, you got parting words for our folk.
Hey, Coach, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I love what you're doing, man. Love to hear about what you're doing, man. It was just a pleasure. And then also, man, just like Coach, hey, Klew, I know your daughter better nominate Coach for this award. But hey, we got a Labor Day contest going on where you nominate your coach, man, a coach that has made a impact, a difference by sacrificing their time, talent, and treasure into your life and life of others. And it doesn't have to be a professional coach, man. We taking this thing from the playground to the pros, and we want to acknowledge all coaches, man. We're trying to find. We've been blessed to have some great coaches on this show, and be able to do feature stories. And we're trying to find the next Cyrus Jones. We're trying to find the next Art Kehoe. We're trying to find the next CJ Coach Curtis CJ Johnson down in New Orleans Saints, man. Coaches Howard Snellenberg, coaches, man, who are sacrificing the time, just like Coach just mentioned the things that he's doing, or that him and his brother are doing, Coach John. So we're trying to identify those guys and show them love, man. And show them love, man. The Bible say give honor where honor is due. And we want to give them their roses, right? Or the flowers while he's still alive. And we want to show them the love that they have shown others, man. So, hey, go look on Facebook and YouTube. We got the flyer stuff out there, man. Just send in your nomination. All the information is on Facebook. Go to Sideline to Baseline, or either you can go on Facebook or you go to our website. All the information is out there. Don't miss it. We're going to announce the winner on Monday. All right, Labor Day of Love. But then also the winner, we're going to do a special show on that winner. I believe on Wednesday, September the 16th, we're going to do a special show on her. So I know I got a couple votes. Me and Klew get the cheat, and obviously Coach Leland and Coach John, hey, they're going to get our votes as well, baby. So, hey, make sure you go and vote and nominate your the coach who made a difference in your life, man, on and off the field.
Yes, sir. I got a couple names already. Yeah.
Nice, man. Thank you so much.
So we appreciate y'all for stopping through Sideline to Baseline with MB and Klew. Ballers, we are gone.
Gone, man. Coach John,